Hello there.
Boy, it's good to be back watching Breaking Bad. I have been pumping out movie reactions over the last few days, watching movies, editing them as well, first time watchings, but I really wanted to start Breaking Bad Season 3, and my friend was hyping it up as well, because he's been keeping track of my reactions as well, and he's like, yo, dude, you are just getting started after I told him that I'd finished Season 2, but I haven't uploaded the finale to Season 2 yet, but he's been keeping track, so what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Elie Moses, your 23-year-old law and film student here from Sydney, Australia, shooting his shot, baby. Today, we are finally starting Breaking Bad Season 3 with Episode 1 titled No Mas. And yeah, I am hella excited to see the aftermath of the Albuquerque airline disaster that just happened at the end of Season 2. Let's see the aftermath of it. Let's see how Jesse's coping in drug rehab as well. And it's interesting to see the domino effect of how the airline disaster happened. You know, you had Jane's dad, who's obviously trying to protect his daughter, trying to get her on the mend. You know, she was in rehab. She was doing well. She was 18 months, I guess, clean. She was 18 months clean. And, you know, the relapse happened because of Jesse, that relationship. And then she died because Walt sort of hesitated and did nothing as well. And then her death caused Jane's dad to sort of crack under pressure back at the airline or air trafficking role as well. So it's going to be hectic to see what's going to happen. So yeah, let's get into the reaction. Let's have some fun with this thing. I doubt it's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing, but I doubt it's going to be fun. Let's get into it. Let's go. Interesting color grading choice to begin Season 3 as well. You know, in Season 2, we had a lot of flashbacks beginning the episode with the black and white sort of foreshadowing of the airline disaster. And then obviously you had Lotso, the teddy bear, as the only color on screen. But here, we've gone with a much more, you know, warm color. It's like heavily saturated. Is it saturated? Is that the thing? Or it's a bit more warm and vibrant. The saturation's increased. It's more yellowy. Okay, interesting. I thought maybe we had like 2 new players in town, or like maybe these guys work for Gus. This guy's Spider-Man crawling. This is a workout and a half. Is that Walt? The hat? Heisenberg? Like drawing of him? It's a drawing of him. Yeah. Uh-oh. Another sacrificial lamb is up on the chopping block.
Bump all over the neighborhood,
indicating that the final death toll now stands at 167.
167 muertes.
Hundreds of people.
This mid-air collision has left many wondering how such an accident could take place in a system with so many safeguards. It was indeed a lone air traffic controller's fateful mistake.
El nombre del hombre es Donald Margolis.
Donald Margolis, a 19-year veteran of the FAA's Air Route Traffic Control
Damn,
Center
Donald.
in Albuquerque.
Margolis recently returned.
They're just gonna put out his identity like that?
Absence, which was due to, quote, a personal loss.
Friends of the family say the death of his only child hit Margolis particularly hard. Coming as it did little more than a month before, many are questioning the timing of his return to work.
I questioned it.
And are wondering how much blame truly lies with those who let this grieving father.
Damn. Oh no, you're gonna burn it. You know, my initial instinct was like, oh, he's found another hiding place for the money. Then you realize it's the barbecue grill. See, if this was Australian money, you wouldn't be worried because our money's not made out of paper. But you guys in the US, That's a problem.
I'm so sorry you're here. Where would you like to begin?
I really just need this quick and easy, as quick as something like this can be. So.
Is she going straight for divorce papers?
Is that mutual? Does your husband go along with that? Does he know?
Brother.
I mean, he certainly knows we're separated, so.
Has he moved out?
We're in the process of moving him out, today, hopefully. And in the meantime, my son and my daughter and I are staying with my sister. So I'm sure we're driving my sister and her husband up a wall.
Well, you definitely want to maintain residency in your actual home. It just puts you in a better position in regards to custody. 2 children, you said?
Yes, Holly here, and then I have a son in high school, Walter Jr. They need to stay with me.
They need to.
How long have you been married?
16 years.
And it's not an apartment, it's a house that you live in? Do you own outright? Do you have a mortgage?
Yes, there's definitely a mortgage. We have maybe 15 years on it.
What about other debts or assets? Do you feel you have a good understanding of you and your husband's financial situation? Is your husband employed?
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm really not looking for any sort of loopholes or I don't know.
No loopholes. I just intend that every one of my clients get a full and honest accounting of what it is they owe and what it is they owe.
Hey, this is a good lawyer right here. The funny thing is, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when I recorded the Better Call Saul episode with his introduction, that very day, I was dressed in a suit for that reaction, and that's because I had an assignment for uni where I had to do a client interview. It was part of my practical legal training. You had to conduct a client interview yourself where you're handed a situation and you have to interview a client. You have to conduct the interview to proper legal standards, ask the right questions, get the right information in the span of about 20 minutes. You had 20 minutes. Obviously, it's not a full client interview in terms of the time you have with the client. You're only given 20 minutes and you have to extrapolate like more facts than what you are given. You have to ask the right questions, expand on the facts, and then just suss out sort of the legal options within that 20-minute time frame. Not every possible option because you can't in that 20-minute time frame, but this lawyer right here, they've nailed it in terms of like a client interview, in terms of asking the right questions, expanding on it, making her sort of like feel comfortable, having the right tone of voice and things like that. I just like that about that. And I know this is probably means nothing from an analytical standpoint, but I just thought I'd give my thoughts on it and how they've depicted sort of like a client and lawyer interview. Obviously, it's not overly dramatic. It's not freaking swearing, guns blazing. It's meant to be sort of a bit mundane and boring, but she's making her feel comfortable. She's asking the right questions, and we'll continue to see how it goes.
To that end, I say, let's leave no stone unturned. You'd be amazed what I've seen partners hide from one another.
She's asking the right questions. She has to get more information out of Skylar for her to give her the best possible service as a lawyer, because sometimes clients conceal information and your job as a lawyer is to try and get that information out of them, to make them feel comfortable and things like that.
I don't know. I'm not asking, by the way, okay? It's none of my business, all right? I do not want to get in the middle of you two. I'm just saying, listen, okay? You beat a little tactical retreat, yeah? You regroup, and then, absence makes the
Heart grow fonder.
I'm pulling for you, man. I'm pulling for you. Whoa, no heavy lifting. I got it.
No, it's okay.
I got it. Jesus. What do you got in there? Cinder blocks?
You know what?
$500,000 in cash.
Is this gonna be one of those situations where the joke makes him yeah?
That's the spirit.
It's so ridiculous that they overlook it. You know what I was thinking? I was just thinking how funny it is if Hank retraces the steps of Walt from the beginning. Like, imagine retracing the steps. Walt gets involved in this crazy drug game as a chemistry teacher, right? Kills Crazy 8, gets involved with Jesse, then they get involved with Tuco, kills Tuco. That leads to sort of Jesse moving out of the house. They're trying to lay low, keep the caravan. Jesse gets in a relationship with Jane. Jane is sort of on the mend. She hasn't had any drugs in 18 months, but because of that relationship with Jesse, she gets with Jesse. That complicates the relationship with her father, and because of that, she dies. And then Walt sees her as she's dying, and he could have potentially saved her, but then it's like the domino effect, bro. Imagine Hank trying to uncle, like, what the fudge? This is like the greatest piece of cinema in investigative history. Like, just trying to piece the cause of everything. Accessories. Yo, Jesse got the clean shave just like your boy today.
Who's here for self-improvement? Come on, give me a show of hands. Who among you is here hoping they can actively improve who they are?
I'm here to improve on YouTube and grow subs. Let's go.
Hey, Dad, it's me. No, I'm not okay. I don't know what the hell's going on. Nobody's telling me jack shit around here.
Flynn.
Whatever.
I don't like him being called
I don't
Flynn.
even care
I don't like
anymore.
it.
Can you just give me a ride to school?
I'm taking you to school.
All right, I'm here. See you soon.
You know, beneath that sort of like depiction of innocence on the surface with Walter Jr., he's got that ruthless side beneath it. I'm not gonna lie, this separation in terms of like from the drug dealing aspect and sort of being able to do as he pleases might be a blessing for Walter. Possibly. Los payas hermanos, let's go!
Like if you come home and find him hanging in the closet or whatever, it's basically an automatic A for you. And I just think that kind of compassion is something to...
Hey, let the man speak.
Who wants to go next?
I like
No
how
judgments, guys.
I like how they're
Just
sort of
feelings.
dealing with the
You
aftermath
can
of this
say
plane crash.
anything and everything that's on your mind.
How it's affected the community as a whole, not just Walt and his family.
I keep asking myself, why did this happen? I mean, if there's a God and all, why does he allow all those innocent people to die for no reason?
Oh.
Keep it secular, honey.
Anyhow, I haven't really been sleeping much. Does anyone else have that? I just keep hearing that sound. That boom. It just plays over and over in my head like it won't ever stop.
I like this. I really like this. People may think it's boring, but I like it.
Over here.
Because it's great seeing Walt's facial expressions to every kid's story.
Just moved.
Maybe we should hear from the faculty. Certainly, this tragedy didn't only affect our students. Mr. White, would you like to say something?
Here we go.
And by the way, welcome back.
Woo! You know what I love about this show as well? Bryan Cranston is absolutely fantastic because it's not easy as an actor to sort of like submerge yourself into a situation where it's like, okay, this plane crash affected my family. I've got all of these things going on and I'm reacting to the stories of these students. And I love that wide shot as well of the group of teachers standing in a circle and then you see the entire school cohort there. And the individual was speaking up, telling sort of his experience with what happened. But at the same time, it just goes to show how fantastic of an actor Bryan Cranston is to have these facial reactions to sort of like submerge himself and embody the character of Walter White. in terms of like a character who's gone through these lived experiences, not only the plane crash, but what's happened with the drug dealing and things like that, the ongoing domino effect, because you see his facial expressions, and I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, he's killing it. Like, he's actually reacting to these students' stories as if someone who's experienced this will. And yeah, it's great to see that. It's great to see that. It's just like, it's just crazy how he's able to sort of lock into character like that.
It's so good to have you back.
Yo, I'm just saying, Carmen. I didn't say anything, but I'm just saying.
Just the 50th worst air disaster. Actually, tied for 50th. There are, in truth, 53 crashes throughout history that are just as bad or worse. Tenerife? Is anybody heard of Tenerife? No? In 1977, 2 fully loaded 747s crashed into each other on Tenerife. Does anybody know how big a 747 is? I mean, it's way bigger than a 737, and we're talking about 2 of them. Nearly 600 people died in Tenerife. But do any of you even remember it at all? Any of you? I doubt it. You know why? It's because people move on. We will too. We will move on, and we will get past this, because that is what human beings do. We survive. And if we survive and we overcome. Yeah. We survive. We survive and okay.
You know, like, I get what he's trying to say. Like, what do you guys think about Walt's speech right there? Like, in a way, I agree with his thing in the end right there about, like, there's been worse disasters in history and things like that, and what have human beings done? We've moved on. And I like how he's just questioning the individuals there. Like, do you even remember it? Yeah, I get it's a sensitive time and it's a bit harsh, I guess, to mention it. But I guess maybe it's a situation of like, somebody's gonna say it, or somebody's gotta say it. But he is right in a way in that we gotta move on, we gotta be stronger, we can't let it continue to affect us, no matter how hard it is to move on, because some people never move on. It's true in effect, like whether it's a disaster like this, whether it's a loss in the family, whether something's happened to them in their personal life or things like that, some people just struggle to ever move on. And my dad's told me stories about his friends or things that have happened. Some people never truly move on. Like, it's hard to move on. And no matter if you see it on the outside, like on the surface level, you see them as an individual, it looks like they may have moved on. Deep down, they're continually affected by things, and you can see those students, they're deeply hurt by it. You saw the reactions of them. Some of them may have agreed with Walter, but it might have been like a harsh lesson, maybe at the wrong time, but I don't know. I just need to think it more through and see you guys' reactions to it. But I get what he was trying to say. I get his analogy in terms of like, we as human beings continue to move on from tragedies. We survive and we continue to survive. But yeah, maybe the other individuals around, you saw their reactions, how the camera racked in and out of focus of like Carmen, a couple of the other teachers as well. They're like, what the heck? Instead of like sort of having comforting words, it was sort of like a situation of just telling the harsh truth about humanity. I love sort of like the eerie music and tribal music around these individuals. Like an aura of mystery around them. Like, who are these guys? Just hanging their gun straps on a clothesline, changing clothes from like a random individual's house. They've yet to say a word as well. It's just their presence that's sort of doing the talking and people's reactions to that presence. Oh! They gave the girl the Merc! Let's go! Fair enough. And they put it on a goat. These two are goats. I love how Walt still hasn't fixed the windshield from the debris.
Why you gotta treat him like this? Why you gotta be like this? Why can't you just talk even?
Woo! We're about to see another side to Walter Jr. unleashed.
I can't help you get through this, Skylar. You know, if you won't tell me what it is that Walt did.
You know what? I don't remember asking you. All right. So
Well,
if you
I
want to
think
be
that's-
supportive, you could be supportive without prying. That would be really
Right, okay,
great.
well.
The thing is, she can't give like a exact right answer as to what Walt did, because he didn't have an affair. Like she doesn't have any concrete evidence. But in terms of like relating with Walter Jr., because my parents divorced when I was 16. They separated at the time when I was 16, going into my final year of studies at high school. So yeah, I can sort of relate to the situation of parents splitting up and stuff. I'm not going to get into detail as to what happened because it was not the best experience. That's just keeping it very safe at the moment. Like, not going to go into detail. Like, it's, yeah, just respect that. Hopefully you guys can. But yeah, I'm sure maybe some of you have related to like parents sort of separating, divorcing at different ages. But for me, it happened at 16 for me. So I was at that age where I was a bit more, a little bit more mature and understanding about the situation. You see some kids, their parents divorce when they're really, really young and things like that. So, but yeah, I'm just talking about experiencing stuff in terms of that. And I can like sort of understand what he's going through and why he's angry, because it's not good to see the two individuals who have raised you your entire life just not talk with each other. Marie again wearing purple.
So, like, what makes you the experts?
I don't think I ever said I was that.
Yeah, but you're the one sitting here, right? Telling us thus and so. Be happy, forgive yourself, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever really hurt anybody? I don't just mean disappointed your mother or whatever, but did you ever really hurt someone?
I killed my daughter. It was July 18th, which is my birthday. But it didn't stop me from drinking and getting high. It just made it that much worse. Self-hatred, guilt, it accomplishes nothing. It just stands in the way.
Stands in the way of what?
True change.
I love that scene right there. I love the parallels this episode with Jesse and Walt in terms of they're both speaking in front of a group of individuals. Yeah, Walt was speaking in front of the school, in front of like a larger group of people, but at the same time, Walt and Jesse were sort of like not hesitant to speak, but they sort of like asked harsh questions of the people in front of him, and he did that. Jesse did that, and you can see the parallels with themselves speaking up in front of a group of people. However, instead, what Jesse had that Walt didn't, Jesse had that response from another individual that sort of clapped back at him and shocked him, whereas everyone in front of Walt was shocked, but they had no response to him, and the response was sort of like to diffuse the situation, whereas the individual in front of Jesse, I'm guessing the therapist, who kind of reminds me of like Robin Williams from Good Will Hunting, I don't know, he's giving off vibes like that for me, he sort of responded and had his own story to share, and that he's been through it, he's made it out, and he survived. Like Walt was saying, as humans, we move on, we survive, and this guy has moved on. He survived from that situation of killing his daughter. No matter how much of a horrible experience it was, he's moved on. Even though it still might affect him, he's sort of moved on. And yeah, I like that parallel right there between Walt and Jesse both speaking up in front of a group of individuals, but in the Jesse situation, you sort of had that individual to kind of relate with and sort of clap back at Jesse, you know, because Jesse was just thinking to himself, who is this guy to tell me about moving on and things like that, you know, to grow as an individual. He hasn't gone through what I've been through, but then you realize, bang, someone with a similar, if not worse experience. She gonna serve him the divorce papers.
Why are you doing this? Why are you even thinking this way? Is it to punish me?
I am not punishing you, Walt.
This is punitive, is what this is. We are happily married.
Happily?
I am happily married. I am happy.
I am.
We're just... I love you, Skylar, and I would do anything for you. Would you even consider? I mean, Jesus. You come in here and you wave these papers in my face when there's a whole other entire side to this thing. There's your side and there's my side, and you haven't heard my side yet. You haven't heard any of it at all.
You're a drug dealer.
Woo!
No, what? How? What?
Yeah. How else could you possibly make that kind of money?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Marijuana.
That
That Pinkman kid. No?
Imagine he says no. Then what is it then?
Cocaine?
Methamphetamine.
Oh.
I'm a manufacturer. I'm not a dealer.
Oh.
No, Skylar. Listen to me, Skylar.
No.
Listen.
No.
There are a lot of angles to this, okay? It's complicated. All right? So please, let's just sit back down and we'll talk it through.
I'm gonna make you a deal, Walt. I won't tell Hank, and I won't tell your children, or anybody else. Nobody will hear it from me, but only if you grant me this divorce and stay out of our lives.
No,
I mean it. Now let me the hell out of here before I throw up.
I think that's the way Walt pictured telling Skylar, and that's another individual he knows about him, but grant the divorce and keep the secrecy, or risk getting compromised to Hank. Those two twins, they're either workers for Gus, but I'm not sure if they're workers for Gus because it seems like they have it out for Walt, so they could be relatives of Tuco or
Windshield's
Crazy
broken.
8.
A little friction in the marriage right now.
Friction? Little?
Strictly temporary. We're just taking a little break. The rehab, it helped.
Yeah. I'm done using.
That's excellent. That's very good, Jesse.
It's all good him saying it. Now let's see it be put into action. Or lack of action.
You know, in spite of how bad things got, it really could be looked at like a wake-up call for both of us. I mean, you know, just to get our lives back together again and on the straight and narrow. Some sort of collision radar on the jet that may not have been working properly. Now, that's public record. You can look that up. And the whole system is run on 1960s technology. No, really. I blame the government.
You either run from things or you face them, Mr. White.
What exactly does that mean?
I learned it in rehab. It's all about accepting who you really are. I accept who I am.
And who are you?
I'm the bad guy.
I like how Walt's growing out the beard now, where Jesse is now clean shaven.
Yeah.
Even Gus is wearing the blue ribbon.
I have an offer that I think will be of interest to you.
I actually am not here to. I'm here because I owe you the courtesy and respect to tell you this personally. I'm done.
You haven't heard the offer, but
It has nothing to do with you personally. I find you extraordinarily professional, and I appreciate the way you do business. I'm just making a change in my life, is what it is. This is not me.
I'd like you to hear my offer.
Exactly.
It won't change my mind. I'm sorry.
$3 million for 3 months of your time.
Ooh, a time limit, and a guarantee. That's good.
$3 million.
$1 million a month.
I take this as a yes.
Bro, take that. 3 million, 3 months. Yo, this is about to be a crazy 3 months.
I have money. I have more money than I know how to spend. What I don't have is my family. The answer is still no.
Oh.
Enjoy your meal.
I wonder if it's going to be one of those situations where it's like, if he comes back to take the offer, he'll be like, the offer doesn't stand anymore. I'm not too sure. Is that sort of gang symbol or resemblance or like? Damn! Damn!
What the hell's going on in there?
Did they just shoot up the entire joint? Bro, let the man run away. He's an old guy, man. He just got you all the way to Texas. Leave him alone. He's probably got a wife and some kids. He can't even walk properly. Leave him alone. Did they just shoot him in the leg as well? The irony of beginning the episode with someone Spider-Man crawling because they wanted to, and then ending it with the episode with someone doing it because they can't help themselves because they've been shot in the leg. Not gonna lie, that is kind of badass. Like, my two guys haven't said a word this episode, but that is badass. These guys are ruthless motherfuckers as well. They just killed a bunch of... They killed a bunch of kids in there as well. I think there was like a family in there, things like that. Damn. The aftermath of the Albuquerque plane crash did not disappoint. a lot of people may think, okay, this episode wasn't action-packed, it wasn't heavy, things like that. But I like how it dealt with the aftermath. I like how it took things slow, steady, you know, dealing with the community, how they're going at the moment, dealing with how Walt's going, Skylar, everything. Nothing is going well at the moment, in my opinion. I don't feel like anything's going too well at the moment. Walt sort of made the decision to prioritize family over drug dealing, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. Gus put a formidable offer on the table right there, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens that maybe it's gonna entice Walt to get back in the game and things like that. Because you saw a couple episodes ago in season 2 when he saw someone threatening, like the B-Tech Jesse and Walt version, when he saw someone threatening to, you know, reclaim the game and take his turf, he stamped his authority. He's like, hell nah. But this time, because of the situation surrounding his family and Skylar finding out that he's a drug dealer, it's sort of a situation of like, I want to get my life on track, I want to get my family, you know, back intact. But it could be a situation of Skylar knows he's a drug dealer, and even if he stops and gets out of the game, she probably won't forgive him for that, and she's probably made her decision to move on. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I commentated a lot throughout this episode on my thoughts, so I'm not gonna sit here and dwell too much and give you guys a full-on final review, because I felt like I said that during the episode, or like I articulated my thoughts throughout the episode, so I don't want to ramble on too much at the end. But yeah, a fantastic start to season 3. Looks like we got 2 new bad boys on the block as well. A little bit of mystery surrounding them. Could they be a threat to Gus and Walt? Could there be a situation there where they team up against these guys? These guys are clearly seeking out for revenge against Heisenberg. They clearly heard that name from somewhere, possibly related to Tuco, one of his cousins in Mexico, or Crazy 8. My guess probably Tuco, but let's find out what's going to happen in season 3, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be exciting. Been your brother Moses. Take care. God bless. Peace.